Welcome to the Weekly Beat, episode number 6. It is Thursday, March 8th. You know where to find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I would love to talk more about that, but we have so much to get to. Let's get right into it. The beat goes on strong this week, and we'll start with the game that kicks off in just about 2 hours.
Give or take, tournaments.
Yeah, tournaments, give or take. But ideally, that game will tip off at 6 o'clock. LSU into the SEC basketball tournament. They go one-on-one with Mississippi State, a rematch of the regular season finale.
I was about to say, if that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And man, it was a regular season finale. LSU just dominated.
Oh, it was a win the whole way. No, it wasn't.
They shot 51% from the floor, almost 52. Shot 47% from behind the arc. I mean, they were just on fire all game.
They treated the home crowd to a win that they deserved.
Which they've been doing recently.
Yeah.
They finished the season winning 6 straight at home in the regular season, which is
very good at home. They finished 17-13 overall.
Which is first year for Will Wade.
Yeah, 8-10 in the league, but 10th in the league, which was a league that they were predicted to finish dead last in.
It was.
So whether anything happens in the SEC tournament or not, the Tigers, in my estimation, have had a successful season.
It's been a fantastic season. And, here's something great about the 10th place finish.
Mm-hmm.
That gets LSU into the SEC Big 12 Challenge next year. Which, how great is that going to be with the team that Will Wade has coming in? Those big guys he's got coming in, they're going to get to play in that. The top 10 teams in the league participate, and they get to go they get to do that now.
That is a great little tidbit of
I can't
knowledge.
Wait
that was good. That was good. You're right. Will Wade, the team that he'll have to put on the court next season to start with that big that's going to be
great. I mean, that's going to be
very good. You're absolutely right. But let's talk about the here and now. Mississippi State, we did beat them in the regular season finale, and like you said, dominated by 20 points. The winner of this game will face Tennessee in the quarterfinals. What do you expect to see tonight out of the Tigers?
I think they'll play well. I think they match up with State pretty good. The one thing that bothers me is they haven't won a road game since Arkansas.
It's been a while. It's been a while, yeah.
9-0 neutral sites. It's not at the PMAC.
Right.
They're on the road. And that worries me. They've played competitively, on the road, but they haven't been able to finish. So they're going to have to finish tonight, not in their building against Mississippi State. I don't see if they can do that. Tremont Waters with his broken nose.
And that happened in practice this week, right?
But he's going to have to really be himself for them to win the game. That's just, they go as Tremont Waters goes. They have all season. Right. It will continue now.
And we've said it on this show, the course of the second half of the season, where Tremont Waters, leads the league in steals, second in assists. And typically on games where LSU dominates, like Mississippi State, he leads the team in points.
Right.
So, the injury doesn't concern me too much. He'll be wearing a mask. We see that all the time in basketball. So no worries there. But if Tremont Waters isn't the player of the game tonight, who do you see that could step up that could get the Tigers to go?
It's going to have to be the I say big guys, but, it's going to have to be either Epps or Duop Reith or both of them. It'll probably have to be both of them. You're going to need them to pick up the slack, and that's a lot of slack to pick up without Tremont Waters, and you would need somebody like Skylar Mays to really help out. But I'm kind of with you. I don't think the injury is going to be that big of a deal. I think he should be fine and be able to play his game.
I'm excited about it. I think this is a team that could surprise some people in the SEC tournament. We're a team that we could get on a streak. We have already this season, especially at home. But you're right, not at home, not in the PMAC, so a little bit more of a hesitation on my end to want to, really get behind and say the Tigers have a chance to make big noise in the tournament. But a team that has played better than anyone expected them to, I would not be surprised if they get the win tonight, go on Tennessee. And I don't think they match up horribly against the Volunteers. But first things first tonight.
Here's the thing. For LSU, their main focus needs to be this, and that is win the game tonight and if you win tonight, I think you lock yourself up a top 4 seed in the NIT, which gives you a host game. And that means you're in the PMAC where you've won 6 straight because of their season. You have a shot there. The only way LSU gets into the big dance if they win this tournament, I just don't see that happening.
I agree.
So focus on what you can control. What you can control is your seeding right now in the NIT. You can improve it by winning. Right now, There are some publications have them projected a 2 seed in there, which is great. But in order to keep that, I think you need to win at least one game in the SEC.
Something that I love about postseason basketball in college, whether it's the Big Dance or the NIT tournament, is that most of the time you control your own destiny.
Yeah.
You keep winning basketball games, you make things a whole lot easier for a selection committee to select you, whether it's for the NCAA tournament or the NIT. It's when you lose games and then you're on the bubble. One tournament or the other. So destiny is in LSU's hands, at least for postseason basketball.
Yeah, they just need to go out and get it. And guess what? That's a great segue about controlling your own destiny.
It is.
For postseason. Because guess what? The nobodies. The Pelly Pals.
Listen, did you know
Here
this?
they go. Here they go, man.
This is actually one of those very interesting facts. We don't do this a lot on the show, but I think you need to know that New Orleans has an NBA basketball team.
They do, actually. I've been hearing a little bit about that.
I've been hearing rumors, but I wasn't sure. But I've just been told that is in fact
professional sports is the only thing where you literally can control everything.
That's right.
Win, you're in.
That's it.
They're on 10-game winning streak. They've been great.
10
and now
in a row.
They are up to 4th in the Western Conference,
Yeah.
which would give them a home. They would
host a playoff series.
They would have home field advantage in the playoff series in the first round.
Which is wacky. Only 18 games to go.
Yeah.
So really there's a realistic possibility if the Pelicans can stay steady. They're obviously not going to keep up this pace. But if they stay steady, they could hold on to that 4th spot. The problem is a couple of things. One of them is that it is a tight bottom half.
I was about to say the log jam.
It is a tight bottom half in the Western Conference. The Pelicans are only a game and a half out of 3rd, but they're also only 4 games ahead out of 8th.
Right.
So we've climbed our way up to 4th, but there is a lot that could happen. In 18 games is a lot of time to go.
And it's going to count. You keep winning, though, and you're there.
Yeah.
I know, you're right. They're not going to win out. They're not going to win 28 games in a row. That's just not going to happen. If that happens, Anthony Davis should be league MVP. He's Superman. But he has just been what everybody expects him to be.
Well, let me tell you, in these 10 games that they've won, he's put up 41 points, 42 points, 44 points, 45 points, and how about 53 for good measure?
Against the Suns, yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Who are not a very good team, but I don't care. You score 53 points against anybody. They're all pros. That's impressive. Not to mention his rebounds off that. I'm pretty sure he's had a double-double in each one of those games.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a streak that Anthony Davis has picked up this team and carried them. We don't have Boogie right now. He's down. And Anthony Davis has stepped up and been the dominant Anthony Davis that he's been basically his whole career.
He is.
We face the Washington Wizards next, who are 4th in the East. Yeah. So that's a fun little matchup.
This is going to be good.
Next. Yeah, it'll be a good test. But Anthony Davis, as strong as he has been for this streak, he isn't healthy either. No. He had a rib contusion on Tuesday and a sprained left ankle in the last game. So for the streak to continue, we're going to need him. And his probability to play in the game on Friday against Washington is up in the air.
Yeah, but he'll be out there.
Well,
he'll be out there. He's gotten. I will be shocked if he's not out there. He has put this team on his back since the injury to Boogie Cousins, and he has to play because without them, they're not talented enough to be the number 4 seed. Which it's not a knock. It's just the truth. That's why I think he makes the case for most valuable player in the league because he's the most valuable player to the Pelicans right now. Without him, where are they? But he won't get it because that's not how awards work in postseason. Don't get me started on that. But
this is a rant that we're not ready for.
Yeah.
But I will say, what do you think? Anthony Davis leaves 2 games in a row with separate injuries. Do you force the issue? Do you let him play Friday? Or do you let him rest a game and hope for the longevity?
I don't think you can keep him out. I don't think you can keep him from playing now.
Listen, I don't disagree with you.
He's going to say, I'm playing, and you're going to say, okay.
Because what are you going to tell
Anthony Davis? Exactly. He's the backbone of your team, was even with Boogie, but now especially he is. Right. And, he's literally put the team on his back. That's why he's gotten injured. It's heavy. But, I think he's going to play. And guess what? It's at home.
Yeah.
So if they can go ahead and do this, man, that's a big win. That gives you confidence heading to the playoffs.
If they can beat Washington Friday, they have a couple more home games against teams that they are ahead of in the standings.
Yeah.
Against the Jazz, and the Hornets, teams that they should beat. So theoretically, this streak could go on to 13 or so games.
It could.
They are second in the division. Not that divisions matter as much, in the NBA.
Yeah.
But behind the point I bring up is the Houston Rockets, who have won 17 straight.
Yeah, show-offs.
But let me tell you what is the most impressive thing to me about this streak right now. Anthony Davis scoring all the points is impressive. But to me, the most impressive thing is that they've won 3 of the games in overtime, and 2 other games have been decided by 5 points or less. So half of the games have been close.
Yeah.
And they've been able to pull them out, which is something that the Pelicans are not known for.
No, they're finishing.
Which does not happen.
No, and it's great. It's good to see, man.
That is the most telling thing to me. And I think that is what builds this team up to be playoff ready.
I like to rag on the Pelicans a lot, but I'm happy for the city and I'm happy for the team. And look, they deserve it, man. Y'all go ahead. Y'all keep doing it. Let's see how far this can get.
I absolutely agree. A lot of basketball there to start the show, and I like it. I love having
versatile.
I love having a confident Pelicans and a team and a confident LSU basketball team going into the tournament. But where there is all sorts of good news, there is bad. And typically, this is when your doofus of the week steps up to ruin the moods.
Well, look. Whatever team asks Darius Geis if he likes men, you are a bunch of doofuses for a couple of reasons. We're not going to get into why that's morally wrong, because we should all know why that's morally wrong, no matter what side of the fence you stand on. It's wrong. You just don't do that. Your sexual orientation, unless you want it to be known as your own business, it's wrong. You can't do that. Also, it's also kind of illegal to hire somebody based off that.
That's true.
It's discrimination. You can't do that. It's wrong. Here's why, from a sports perspective, that was terrible. That puts a black eye, another black eye, on the league that really doesn't need any more black eyes right now. Because guess what? Your ratings for the last about 3 years have been going down, and they're continuing to go down. And that's only going to help them go down further. You alienate people who are in your fan base by doing that. And I know there's rumors. Is it true? I really don't have a doubt that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's happened before.
But no, you've heard stories about this for years, about the types of things that are asked of these players when they go to the interviews by the team officials. And, this was just another example. Darius Geis, not only was he asked that, but he was asked if his mother sells her body.
Right. Which, that's just not okay.
Well, let me ask you this question.
So you're all doofuses, whoever asked the question really.
Of those two things,
whoever allowed it, y'all suck.
Of those 2 questions, which one of those affects his football ability?
Oh, that'd be none.
Okay, I just wanted to
That'd be none.
Maybe I didn't know if there was something I didn't.
Has plenty of football ability, as Texas A&M, but that's a bad look for the league. And the league, they can come out and they can say whatever they want. Oh, this is not a factor, and we don't encourage that concept. That's fine, you don't, but you still allow it to happen, and it's continuing to happen, and it happened before. There have been homosexual players in your league that have brought attention to your league. That's another thing you did. You might have alienated people who would have been drawn to your team. Say you did draft somebody like that, but not anymore, because now they think you're against it. It's bad for your team. It's a bad brand that you're sending out for the entire league, for 29 other teams or 30 other teams. You're sending that brand out, and that's not okay.
Saying that it's not okay is not enough. You have to prevent it from happening.
Well, that's going to come from the league. And
no, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the NFL is better than anyone else at saying that we disapprove of these actions,
and then not do anything about it. Yeah.
But in the same sentence, basically saying that it's fine because we're not going to take any action against it.
That's just whoever did that, whatever organization did that, you're doofuses, and you need to get a life. My gosh, come on.
That's a good one. Doofus of the week, that was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. Now, we've talked LSU basketball.
Yep.
Very important that we move right into LSU baseball.
Yep.
But it has been a very interesting 14 games to start.
It's been nice. I've enjoyed a lot of it.
There's been a lot of talking points on both sides of the baseball. We hosted the 3 teams in the box this past weekend, Toledo, Sacred Heart, and Southeastern. We win all 3 of those, but a couple of midweek losses, which I know is not your favorite topic to talk about. we lose to Southeastern last week, midweek, but then we beat them on Sunday when it mattered. Do you think it's important, though, that LSU is getting tested in these midweek games?
I think it's absolutely the biggest thing that can happen. It's not even just that. I sent out a tweet last night after the game. I said, this team, especially the pitching staff, is gaining invaluable experience. You cannot put a value on the experience they've gained throughout the first 14 games. They had the opening series loss. That was big for them. No player since 1999 has ever played for LSU has felt that since then, and they got to feel it. That's big for them. You immediately have to bounce back because you're bringing in a ranked Texas team to your place. You go out, you see improvements on pitching, your offense stays steady, you take 2 out of 3 there. Then you go on the road to a hostile Hammond and Alumni Field, and you lose by 1 run after having to fight back in that environment. You were down 5-0. You lose by 1 run, that's okay. You go on the road last night to ULL in what is probably one of the better environments LSU will have to play in this year.
No, I agree.
And you lead the entire – they do. Their shape of the tee looks good. You lead the entire game until the bottom of the 8th inning when Nick Bush goes out there, pitches a solid inning, ends up giving up 3 runs because they bunted 3 times in a row, scored 2 runs on a bunt I've never seen. And your team still fights back, but you end up getting walked off. But guess what? You lost 2 games. So you've had a great series, 2 quality series against name opponents, and 2 close road losses in the midweek by 1 run each. That is going to serve them so well come April and May when they're playing people like Ole Miss and Arkansas and
let it not be mistaken,
contenders.
Southeastern and ULL are quality opponents.
Yes.
Those are good opponents. We talked about this at the beginning of the season with the quality of the midweek games that LSU has, at least in this first half of the season, how the in-state schools have stepped it up and are competition and are very real threats to, be around later in the season. And so it's not a bad thing to me that we're having competitive games against Southeastern, that we're having competitive games against ULL or UNO, you name it. That just elevates our level.
And it does. And, what's so important to understand about the midweek games is they are just trials for LSU. That's all they are. They have no bearing at all on LSU's postseason positioning or anything like that. These are get-right games for them. This is for them to do things like get A.J. Labus more innings, who is fantastic, and I think he's going to do great things at LSU. To get Devin Fontenot to just continue working out of the funk that he's been doing. He was fantastic. Get a young first-year Tiger guy like Taylor Peterson, who has only pitched 4 2/3 innings.
Right.
Get him an inning. It's good things like get guys like Nick Webb at bats and experiment with Jake Slaughter in the leadoff role. That's what these are for. And LSU's talented enough to play them close and come out with the victory more often than not. That's what it's for. And, I've been very, very impressed the last couple of weeks with this team. They have just made
So what is it
strides.
that has impressed you the most?
The pitching has just come so far since the first weekend.
No doubt. Does that speak to the level of improvement for the Tigers pitching staff, or does that speak a little bit to the level of competition?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it speaks mainly to the competition and the fact that these guys are all competitors. They love to compete. This is what they do. They're athletes. That's what it speaks to that. I think it speaks more to the improvement. It speaks to Coach Allen Dunn and Coach Palmineri and the sheer talent that these kids have, that they're able to shake it off and they're able to move on. They pitched not last week, so the game against Grambling, the 2 against Southeastern Sacred Heart Toledo, they pitched to a team ERA of 2.25 and had an opponent's batting average of 196 against. That's LSU baseball. That's more like it.
Right.
And if you're going to let losses to ULL, derail all the success they've made, then you're not doing the team a justice. So they shut that team out for 7 1/3 innings last night. So look,
if you are concerned,
and it was freshmen who did it for the main.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. If you're concerned now about LSU midweek losses, you didn't watch last season.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
LSU lost a plethora of midweek games last season, and they finished in the College World Series finals.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it builds experience and the type of grit that this baseball team is going to need as we enter SEC play, which, by the way, is just a week away.
It's just a week away. And you're going to get a pretty decent Missouri team. Their Friday night guy's good. He's part of a combined no-hitter last week, last Friday night, where he pitched like 7 innings and struck out 12. So he's pretty good. Were they playing a great team? No, but I don't care. If you hold anybody to no hits, that's impressive.
We host Hawaii this weekend at the box. 7-4 Hawaii team, our last non-conference series.
Yeah.
And what do you expect to see? We'll have Hass on Friday night, who has been more than impressive
he will continue.
Since his first outing.
The thing I'm worried about with Hess
–
is I think he'll continue the pace he's at right now. Can he sustain it over the whole season? Because once he gets down the stretch, this is going to be the most he's ever thrown.
And that was one of the biggest questions.
So we'll see then. I think he's figured it out. I think he will be fine for the foreseeable future. Is when we get down there. So what am I looking for this weekend? I'm looking for more of the same. I think they'll hit Hawaii's pitching. They will hit. That will not be an issue. I want to see the pitching just continue to improve. I would really like to see Nick Bush be able to come off and shake off. Like I said, he did not pitch bad at all. It was just some baseball misfortune that happened to him. Balls were falling in off the end of the bat and bunts are happening. So, that happens. I'd like to see him, though, be able to flush it, have a good outing. Very interested to see the starting rotation because Palmieri said earlier today, Nick Storrs. He's looking for Nick Storrs to make his debut and start on Sunday.
Right?
He had a little arm discomfort the other day. They're going to throw him a little bullpen on Saturday. If everything's good, he's good to go. They'll throw 2 innings. If not, Mikhail Hilliard will get the start. So what he's doing is he's using his last weekend to find his third star.
That's it.
For SEC play. It will either be one of those 3. It will either be Mikhail Hilliard, Nick Storrs, or AJ Levis. I'm personally rooting for Storrs or Levis. I don't want to take Mikhail Hilliard out of that middle relief role. That's something else you've seen recently.
Yeah.
You've seen roles start to be developed. They're figuring this out.
And that is what this first stretch of the season is for.
Right.
That's really what it's about. These first 20 games or so, you're looking to see what your lineup's going to look like, what your rotation's going to look like, what each situation will bring on the field for the Tigers.
Yeah. And that Austin Bain's just going to bang doubles.
But Austin Bain's going to keep hitting doubles. He's going to end up playing every position.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to be center field later. Don't worry. Yeah, he's going to catch.
He's going to pitch.
He's even a third base coach. I heard a little bit too, probably. So the Bain train, man.
Yeah,
Get on it. If you're not on it already, you're going to have to run down the tracks because it's left the station.
It's gone.
You need to get on it.
Gone.
Because he's a world beater. You got to watch out for Austin Bain.
That's true. No, absolutely right. And you know what I love the most about the Austin Bain train right now is that everybody loves it. If you get on Twitter, all the players are chiming in because it is it's different and it's special and it's unexpected and it's awesome.
I was say, how can you not love it?
How can you not?
He's a program guy. He's from Geismar, went to Dutchtown, has been there 4 years, played 4 years. I think he's been there 5 years. He even had the surgery. He's a guy, a freshman was a weekend Sunday guy in the SEC. He had those middle years that weren't great, and now he's coming out. How can you not?
It's really
Austin Bain and the Jordan twins are the type of guys who LSU championship teams have been built around. Just program guys.
Guys that when you think of LSU baseball, those are the names you think of.
Right.
Those are absolutely the names you think of. Bo Jordan, 3 home runs, leads the team right now, a team that has 12 home runs in the season so far, which I'll take it. That's pretty solid.
I was looking at the stats the other day because I was writing a thing for class about them, and it's probably gone down now, but at that point, Bo Jordan was slugging like 8.
I was
just like, so you could, keep it up. But if you could also come back down to earth a little bit, that's astronomical.
Yeah, that's definitely not exactly what anyone may have predicted.
Yeah,
I would Jordan prior to the season. I'm really excited to see if the Jordan twins, if they hold up once we get into SEC play on this type of streak because they are playing very good baseball.
They are. And Bryce is playing a really solid first base.
Yeah.
He's picking balls really well. Mm-hmm. He'll be backup catcher this weekend because Nick Coombs has a concussion.
Oh, yeah. But that speaks to the versatility of the team.
Yeah.
The ability to be able to sub in and out as necessary.
This team has shown extraordinary depth.
Yes.
They're very thin right now, but that's because all that depth is on the field.
Which is so interesting because that was one of the biggest concerns going into the season.
Yeah.
And the reality is that when you have Austin Bain to play every position, it's fine.
That's true. And but look, see, they had, I think it was yesterday for infield, they had 6 infielders on the field or something like that for warm-up. And that was it, because that's all it's healthy. So
that's all we had.
The depth is showing, but they're just thin right now because the depth is showing.
I understand that. But Hawaii this weekend, baseball off the box.
Yeah,
it's going to be good stuff. It's now time for our final 5. We've done a lot of information. We've hit you with a lot of stuff so far. And we mentioned the combine earlier in a negative light. But let's talk about the positives of the NFL draft.
Let's talk a little LSU football.
Yeah,
even though it's really not LSU football anymore, it's still kind of LSU football. Man, I tell you what, DJ Chark needed to have a showing at the combine to improve his stock, and boy did he ever.
Let me just tell you right now how he ranked. 4th in 40 speed, 4.34. 9th in vertical jump. 13th in broad jump. He went from someone that potentially was not going to get drafted to someone that could very well be mid-round somewhere.
He could sneak into the first round.
He could. He really could. And that is, on the LSU side, the biggest stock improvement in the draft.
It is. But, I mean, it shows you what kind of talent LSU has at wide receiver. We're not going to get into that, but it shows you that they do have it. So the ability is there for them. DJ Chark, I mean, he just put on a show, and it was fun to watch. I watched some of his drills. I watched his 40, and I mean, his 40 was good. And we'll have more talk on the 40 when we get to Dante Jackson, but he just did exactly what he needed to do, and it's not uncommon, but it's not, just a sure thing that these players who go into the combine are going to have to do. They have so much they know. Okay, I have to do this. Well, I have to do that. Well, it's hard for them to execute on everything, but he did. I mean, he knocked it out of the park. And look, that's just good for him. And I hope he does sneak in the first round. If not, I think he's definitely early second round.
Yeah, especially it almost feels that more often than not, the combine is a place where players fall. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
It's those guys that will they or won't they, and then the pressure hits, and that's when they don't get drafted, or when they fall to the 5th or 6th round. And more often than not, you don't see the guys that take the opportunity that is the combine to improve their draft stock in really major ways. And DJ Chark, man, oh man, did he get the job done.
Guys did what he had to do. There was nothing he could really do. He's going to go in the first round. That's a given.
Yeah.
Dante Jackson.
Yeah.
So much was made of his 40. I'm going to break the record. I'm break the record. Okay, needless to say, he didn't, but that's fine.
But
he was cramping, and he ran the fastest time. 4.32 is nothing to shake a stick at. I think he can run faster than that. Even cut his hair to try.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was serious about this. He had a really good showing though, as well, and I think he improved his stock a little bit. We'll see if he can maybe sneak in. I don't think he will. I still think he's second, third round guy. But Dante, for someone when he came to LSU, was not really seen as your shutdown corner type guy. Really took strides in that throughout his 3 years.
Yeah, the last couple seasons, he really started to stand out, and he's got the athleticism for it.
Yeah, and I mean his combine time, it helped him too. I mean, I think a lot of it, people just think he's just speed, but he's got really decent cover skills. He's honed his craft out at LSU,
and you can tell right from the improvements that he made in the secondary at LSU. You can tell he's coachable. And if you bring that athleticism to the league with a mind that's coachable, it can absolutely take flight, and he could be meaningful in the league.
Yeah, a note on a former Tiger, and this one just made so much sense. Trey Quinn, had a couple interviews with the New England Patriots. Which just
doesn't that just fit the bill?
Doesn't it? Though? I mean, it's just their type of guy.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I love Trey Quinn.
Good for Trey Quinn. Yeah, he went and had himself a great career.
He did. A couple other LSU guys that I thought were impressive at the combine. KJ Malone, looking like he could very well make a roster. Kevin Tolliver as well.
Yeah.
Those two guys stood out to me as guys that very well could be drafted and could make the final 52-man roster by the end of next season.
And Tolliver was a guy, another one of those guys coming in. He got a lot to prove here because his career at LSU just wasn't what it was really gonna be. And he's a 5-star guy, highly touted, number 1 in the country coming in, and it just never really worked out. He had a lot to prove, and he did. He had a good showing as well.
It should be mentioned that national champion The UCF.
Somebody from Alabama really stood out?
No, UCF.
Oh, those national champions.
Yeah, UCF.
Hey, they're baseball team champions too now.
They are. It's true. They beat Florida. They're
twice.
Anyway, at the combine, you saw this.
It was great.
Griffin with the prosthetic hand.
Yep.
Benches 225 pounds 20 times. My arms hurt looking at a bench. It was just impressive, and it was a really great story, and you just love seeing that.
You do, and hey, somebody draft this guy because he's just a gamer.
Yeah, 18 and a half sacks over the last 2 seasons for the national championship. Golden Knights. It's really good.
Gamer.
Really good stuff. But that will do it. Lots of things looking ahead. An hour and a half till tip-off for the SEC tournament. Hawaii at the box this weekend.
The Pally Pals.
That's right. Friday. It doesn't get old.
Don't leave them out, man.
It's amazing. I'm not used to bringing them.
Exactly.
But thank you so much for joining us again. Facebook, Twitter, you know the drill. Follow us there, and we'll see you next week when the beat goes on.